A shadow fell over Manchuria. A secret unit shrouded in secrecy operated with chilling efficiency. It was called Unit 731, its purpose biological and chemical warfare research. But this was no ordinary research facility. This was a place of unspeakable horrors, a place where human beings were stripped of their dignity, a place where science was twisted, serving a monstrous agenda. At the helm of this nightmarish enterprise stood General Shiro Ishii, a man whose name would become synonymous with some of the most horrific war crimes in history. A brilliant but ruthless man, Ishii saw human beings as lab rats. He was a medical doctor and a microbiologist, but his genius was overshadowed by his cruelty. He believed that the ends justified the means, no matter how inhumane those means were. He believed in the necessity of his work. Ishii was convinced that his research would give Japan a strategic advantage in biological warfare. He argued that the knowledge gained from his experiments would save countless Japanese lives in the future. He argued that vivisection of live subjects was crucial for medical advancement. To him, the suffering of a few was a small price to pay for the potential benefits to the many. He saw himself as a pioneer, pushing the boundaries of medical science. Under his command, Unit 731 became a factory of pain. Located in the remote region of Harbin, China, this facility was a place where unimaginable horrors took place. It was a sprawling complex, equipped with state-of-the-art laboratories and operating rooms. Thousands of innocent lives were sacrificed at the altar of his ambition. Men, women, and children were subjected to brutal experiments. They were infected with deadly diseases, exposed to extreme temperatures, and subjected to vivisection without anesthesia. The suffering they endured is beyond comprehension, and the legacy of Shiro Ishii is a dark chapter in human history. The facility itself was a sprawling complex. Hidden in plain sight near the city of Harbin, it was a fortress of despair. Behind its walls, prisoners lived in constant fear. They were subjected to unimaginable cruelties. Men, women, and even children were held captive. They were known only by numbers, their identities erased. Their suffering was immense. Their cries for mercy went unanswered. The experiments conducted at Unit 731 defy comprehension. Prisoners were infected with deadly diseases. Plague, anthrax, cholera, all were tested on human subjects. Vivisections were performed without anesthesia. Limbs were amputated to study blood loss. Organs were removed, analyzed, and discarded. Pregnant women were subjected to horrific experiments. Their babies, cut from their wombs, were dissected and studied. The cruelty knew no bounds. The human toll of Unit 731 remains unknown. Estimates vary, but tens of thousands perished. They were Chinese, Russians, Koreans, Mongolians, men, women, children, all victims of a regime that viewed them as expendable. Their suffering was immense, their deaths often agonizing and slow. Their stories, for too long, remained untold. As the war neared its end, Unit 731 was dismantled. Evidence of the atrocities was destroyed. Buildings were razed to the ground. Prisoners were executed. Ishii and his collaborators attempted to erase their crimes. They hoped to bury the truth forever, but the ghosts of Unit 731 refused to be silenced. In the aftermath of the war, the Allies granted immunity to Ishii and his team. In exchange for their research data, they were allowed to walk free. This decision remains controversial. Many argue that justice was not served. The perpetrators of these heinous crimes escaped accountability. The victims were denied their due. Silence and denial. Japan's struggle with the past. For decades, the Japanese government remained silent. They denied the existence of Unit 731. They suppressed evidence. They refused to acknowledge the suffering inflicted. This silence only compounded the pain of the victims. It hindered reconciliation. It prevented healing. Scars on history, the enduring legacy of Unit 731. This chapter delves into one of the most harrowing and lesser-known aspects of World War II. Unit 731, a covert biological and chemical warfare research and development unit of the Imperial Japanese Army, left an indelible mark on history. The legacy of Unit 731 is a dark stain on humanity. Established in 1935, this unit was responsible for some of the most inhumane and brutal experiments ever conducted. Thousands of innocent lives were lost, and countless others were scarred forever. It is a reminder of the horrors that can occur when ethics are abandoned, when ambition trumps compassion. The scientists and military personnel involved in Unit 731 conducted experiments that defy belief, including vivisections, frostbite testing, and the deliberate infection of prisoners with deadly pathogens. When science is used as a tool of oppression, the atrocities committed by Unit 731 were not isolated incidents, but part of a broader pattern of wartime cruelty and disregard for human life. These actions serve as a stark reminder of the potential for science to be misused when ethical boundaries are crossed. The scars of Unit 731 run deep. The site in Harbin, China, where these experiments took place, stands as a somber memorial to the victims. The stories of those who suffered and perished there continue to haunt the collective memory of humanity. They serve as a warning. The post-war trials brought some of the perpetrators to justice, but many escaped accountability. The legacy of Unit 731 is a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of holding those who commit atrocities accountable, a reminder of the fragility of peace. The aftermath of World War II saw the world grappling with the horrors uncovered, leading to the establishment of international laws and treaties aimed at preventing such atrocities in the future. The peace we enjoy today is fragile and must be vigilantly protected, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Despite the unimaginable suffering, the survivors and their descendants have shown incredible strength and resilience. Their stories inspire us to strive for a world where such horrors are never repeated, and where human rights and dignity are upheld for all. Remembering the forgotten, giving voice to the victims, it is our duty to remember, to listen to the stories of the survivors, to honor the memory of those who perished, to ensure that such atrocities are never repeated. We must give voice to the voiceless. We must demand accountability. We must never forget. Never again. Lessons from Unit 731. This chapter delves into one of the darkest periods of human history, a time when the boundaries of morality were shattered and the sanctity of human life was disregarded. The story of Unit 731 is a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power. During World War II, this covert biological and chemical warfare research unit of the Imperial Japanese Army conducted inhumane experiments on prisoners, leading to countless deaths and unimaginable suffering. It highlights the importance of ethical boundaries in scientific research. The atrocities committed by Unit 731 serve as a grim example of what can happen when scientific curiosity is pursued without regard for human rights and ethical considerations. Today, we must ensure that our advancements in science and technology are guided by a strong moral compass. It underscores the need for international cooperation to prevent future atrocities. The global community must come together to establish and enforce standards that protect human dignity and prevent the repetition of such horrors. International treaties and organizations play a crucial role in maintaining peace and safeguarding human rights. We must learn from the past. The aftermath of World War II left the world with a profound sense of loss and a determination to never let such atrocities happen again. Memorials for war crimes victims serve as a poignant reminder of the consequences of hatred and unchecked power. We must strive for a future where human dignity is paramount. By coming together in solidarity, we can build a world where respect for human life and dignity is the foundation of our societies. Vigils and acts of remembrance help us honor the victims and reinforce our commitment to a better future, where such horrors are consigned to the history books. Never again. Let us ensure that the lessons from Unit 731 are never forgotten, and that we remain vigilant in our efforts to uphold justice, peace, and human rights for all.